All the members of the Abnegation faction were in disbelief. 2 of their own had left them in one day. The quiet girl, Triss, walked toward a faction that was the complete opposite of her upbringing. After the ceremony, Triss glanced at her parents, who stood frozen in shock. They had never imagined that both of their children would leave the family. The Dauntless, known for their bold and reckless behavior, were often seen as crazy by others, but Triss found herself enjoying the energy and freedom of the faction. They sprinted toward a bridge, each member climbing up with ease. Triss, however, was terrified. She had never done anything so physically demanding, but she mustered her courage and followed the others. For the Dauntless, this was just a warm-up. Once on the bridge, they all lined up, staring at an approaching train. Triss quickly realized what was happening. They were going to jump onto the moving train. One by one, the Dauntless leaped onto the train. Triss ran as fast as she could, barely making it onto the train before the bridge ended. Before she could catch her breath, the next challenge began. Triss moved to the edge of the train car and looked down. They were 7 stories high, and the other Dauntless members were jumping off the train onto a rooftop. This was the Dauntless initiation. If you were too scared to jump, you'd be cast out and become factionless. For those born into the Dauntless, this was as easy as walking, but for Triss and the other transfers, it was a terrifying leap of faith. Summoning her courage, Triss jumped. She landed safely, but the challenges weren't over. The final test was to jump off the roof of the building into a dark abyss. Triss, determined to prove herself, stepped forward to go first. She peered over the edge, seeing nothing but darkness below. Shedding her jacket, she climbed onto the ledge and without hesitation, jumped. As she fell, a giant net caught her, and she was pulled out by a Dauntless member, officially marking her acceptance into the faction. One by one, the other initiates followed. They were then led into a hall where another daunting reality set in. The initiates were taken to their dormitory, which had no privacy, no partitions, no doors, not even on the bathrooms. Secrets were not allowed here. They changed into Dauntless uniforms and burned their old clothes, symbolizing their break from their past lives. The initiates were divided into 2 groups, those born into the Dauntless and the transfers. The Dauntless-born initiates were exempt from further testing and went straight to their assignments. The transfers, however, had to compete in a rigorous initiation process. Only the top performers would earn a place in the Dauntless. The rest would be cast out, becoming factionless. The initiates were stunned. No one had warned them about this brutal selection process during the choosing ceremony, but it was too late to turn back. Their training began immediately, with the initiates split into teams for combat simulations. Triss, lacking any fighting experience, was quickly knocked off the platform during her first match. Even when she climbed back up, she was defeated within seconds. When the rankings were announced, Triss was at the bottom, but luckily, she ran into her test instructor again, who reminded her that, as a divergent, she had to blend in and embrace the Dauntless way of life. Any sign of hesitation or difference could expose her true nature. Determined to stay, Triss threw herself into training. Slowly but surely, her ranking began to climb.